Innistrad Remastered actually releases in less than 3 weeks, and so I'm surprised that they waited this long to start the spoilers, but we do have a lot of really noteworthy stuff to talk about today, and hopefully everybody had a wonderful holiday season and a great start to the new year. Back in full form here with videos going forward, so I appreciate those of you who stuck with me. Sorry for the little bit of a lapse in content, but just a good bit going on, and I won't spend any more time on it than that. But if you guys do enjoy the videos, be sure to like and subscribe, and then click that bell icon if you want to be notified when new videos are posted. We are looking at the Innistrad Remasters announcements from today. This will be continuing throughout the week. I assume that because there are no new cards in this set, it'll be a pretty quick spoiler season in terms of, the releases, but obviously they want to give, opportunity to different content creators and people in the Magic community to, participate in these spoilers and stuff. So I think that's a good thing that they do, and who knows, maybe someday we could have that honor as well. But a couple of noteworthy cards I just wanted to mention quickly here, including Delver of Secrets, which is a really solid card. It's downshifted, I think, here. I believe it's downshifted. I think in the past it was an uncommon. Here it looks like it is just a common, so maybe impactful for Pauper, but always a decent card. Just looks really nice in the retro frame, and I believe that's the first retro frame it actually has. So it feels relatively noteworthy. But one of the things about the retro frame in general that I wanted to touch on quickly, and if you guys saw my video a while back where we talked about collecting Innistrad Remastered, there are going to be, I think, 5 cards total in the set that are only going to be available in retro frame. One of which, of course, is Avacyn, Angel of Hope. A very good card. It has been reprinted somewhat recently. It was in Commander Masters, which is crazy, like over a year ago now, and then Double Masters, which was 2 years ago. And the price just continues to rise, obviously. With a card like this, it doesn't really matter how many times it gets reprinted. It will be affordable for a bit, and then it'll go back up. There would have to be a massive shift in the reprint for that to actually happen that way. But this card is incredibly strong. It's so good everywhere, really, that you can play it. And it's obviously part of an insane number of combos, too. So a good reprint here. Obviously, a little bummed out that it's not going to be more widely accessible from a reprint perspective. But I guess I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. They're trying to preserve reprint equity here. Another card we talked about in a previous video here is Snapcaster Mage, which obviously will be in the set, but that is actually going to be a retro frame exclusive as well. I don't know that Scryfall has updated everything yet with some of these reprint announcements, or if they have, it's just not showing it to me because I'm seeing 1,000 different Snapcaster Mages, but not that one. Oh, is this what we're looking for? Okay, great. Well, that's live on the fly. So, yeah, as far as I understand, the retro frame cards, the 5 of them that are going to be only available in that retro frame slot, Snapcaster Mage and Avacyn, I don't know what the other 3 will be yet, but it should hopefully at least make it a little bit more accessible. And we saw Esper Sentinel get a retro frame on Horizons 3, and, that card is worth a good bit, but it's not, out of reach, right? In terms of the time-shifted one for Modern Horizons 2, it's $23. I mean, still put more copies out there on the market as we're kind of going through and making a review here. So some pretty good spoilers and reveals, and I think I just want to take a quick look, and I know this is live editing, but we're gonna just deal with it that kind of day. We talked about all of this stuff with Edgar and everything else. What I really just wanted to take a quick peek about here was this retro frames. Every pack will have a retro frame card, which we know. And there will actually be double-faced retro frame cards, which we talked about too. I think they look kind of cool. A neat little thing if you're into that. There's a dedicated slot for a non-foil in each. Foil retro frames will only be available in collector boosters, which is something we talked about before. But the actual cards here, this is what we're looking for. 5 mythic rares, including Snapcaster Mage and Avacyn, only appear in retro frame, but they are available in both play boosters and collector boosters. So if you want a foil retro frame of Snapcaster Avacyn, that's going to be locked behind collector boosters, but you can still hit these in regular packs, which is a great thing for the set overall, even if they will be very unlikely to pop up with any type of consistency. So I know I veered off a little bit there, but people have asked about that, and I wanted to sort of put that out there. So there are going to be those 5 that will very scarce. So, Through the Breach is getting a reprint here. Last time we got that was Ultimate Masters, so it's been quite a while. Pretty good card, though not the craziest in terms of value. Not terrible here. This actually does have a sweet movie poster frame as well. And I have to tell you guys, I love the movie poster frames. I think they're awesome. Sadly, we don't have like perfect screen grabs of them yet. I got this off Reddit. But Through the Breach just looks incredible. I love Emrakul there. Hermit Druid, Gitrog Monster, and Captivating Vampire, which you can kind of only half see in that picture. These are all some of the movie poster cards that will be in the set. I think these are going to do extremely well. I think they fit really well with the Innistrad monster theme. But yeah, so these are just incredibly cool options. But Through the Breach getting just a regular print as well as the poster, I think is pretty neat. Faithless Looting getting a reprint here, which obviously that's not major news. This card did get unbanned though in Modern, which was huge. And it did cause a lot of copies of it to start to disappear from the market. It didn't do a ton to spike the price outside of like a select few variants. I thought maybe they'd actually do some kind of variant in this set of it, and I guess there's still technically a possibility that they could, but right now this is kind of what we have. So if you're interested in that, at least be aware that Faithless Looting will be coming out, and people will be ripping this set open, so hopefully that'll mean it'll be, you know, even more accessible. It's not that expensive, right? It's like a 50-cent card, but at one point it was even cheaper than that. People kind of scattered to get what they could, but I don't think there was ever going to be a huge jump on it, just based on history. Maelstrom Pulse, another card that's in here, which is really interesting just because it was just in Foundations. But it is a really good card. It has a lot of application, especially against like token decks and stuff in Commander. So it's a good inclusion here. It's, you know, not the worst bulk rare, I guess is what I'm saying, even if we already did get one. Kind of, you know, hit or miss, but what are you going to do? Captivating Vampire is an awesome reprint. I forgot how expensive this card was, and it's pretty damn good in general, especially with the popularity the vampires saw with Ixalan, and then we're also obviously with Edgar Markov becoming more affordable here with this set. Ideally, we're going to see a lot more people, I think, starting to build vampires, so it's probably good to get ahead of this, because as Edgar is more accessible, you might see people looking for other pieces in the deck. Just kind of the way it goes with this game. So a good reprint. I don't love the art here, but I do, like I said, there is a really cool movie poster art variant of him as well. So what are you going to do? I don't know either if it has a retro frame yet. If it does, we haven't seen it. But it seems like a possibility that it could. So just, you know, kind of some food for thought. But a pretty pricey card with very few prints, especially from an accessibility standpoint. So really happy to see that in here as a good rare you can. Thalia Heretic Cather, another card that you probably heard of before. It's very frustrating to play against sometimes. But it's also very strong in a lot of different decks, and she is getting a sweet borderless variant here, as well as a really solid retro frame. I think it looks kind of clean. I'm a big fan of the retro frame style, but I know some people hate it, some people love it. You got pretty much anything you could want here. Your pick of the litter in terms of variants, so hopefully there'll be something that'll be good for everybody with Thalia. Bruna the Fading Light getting a reprint here. Pretty pricey card, not super crazy, but it was in the Secret Lair deck, the Angels Secret Lair deck, and it also came out, you know, in, what was the last time? It was actually only in this From the Vault and then Eldritch Moon. So not a lot of prints, a good card, not crazy expensive, but it's a rare, so a rare that was around $10-ish before, never a bad reprint. Obviously goes along with Giselle the Broken Brit, which is a lot more expensive. This card was almost $30. It's an extremely good reprint. It works with Bruna to kind of merge here into Brizella Voice of Nightmares, one of those meld cards. I would have been really cool if we got like a new art for this, but I guess maybe that's a little challenging to pull off. But either way, Gisela being included in there is really solid. It is a mythic. I don't know that we have any variants. It might just be in there by itself, but it's Wizards of the Coast and it's 2025. So I always expect a variant, even if we haven't seen it yet. We'll see kind of what happens when the card gallery is fully released, and I'll make when I make follow-up videos, I can touch on that if we do get any that are worth mentioning. Harlan Cord is a really cool card. Again, not the most expensive. It was only like $3 or $4, but the showcase frame is incredibly cool, and it's got it on both sides. I mean, that artwork here is just amazing. I can't say enough good things about it. And if you're a fan of this, you're probably going to be happy to grab this. I don't know if she's got any other special variants or anything of that nature, but pretty cool inclusion here. A little sad to see it at Mythic, simply because I do think it's gonna, you know, from a value perspective, I'd like the Mythics to be better in terms of value, to give players a little bit more incentive to open stuff up, but you can't always get that. I understand that that's works, so I'm not really outraged about it. And then we also get Bloodline Keeper, which I don't love the showcase frame, the Vampire showcase frame. That's Innistrad Crimson Vow. Doesn't look bad. It just doesn't really do a ton for me. But it's a really, really solid reprint here. It was about $20, give or take. And it's nice to see it get a reprint with the showcase variant here. Not bad. I mean, there's a large card pool to choose from here so far for this set. We've seen that they will, you know, pick stuff outside of Innistrad as well. So there is just kind of that to keep in mind. But we've already got Meat Hook Massacre, we've got Emrakul, we've got some pretty damn cool. Huntmaster of the Falls is pretty good. Edgar Markov. I mean, there's a lot of good cards already in here that I think are, you know, going to make this set worthwhile. I hope, and I'm fairly certain that in terms of serialized cards, it's just Edgar, which is okay with me. Even if they add a couple more, it's fine. I think generally speaking, though, the set actually looks like it could potentially be stronger than Ravnica Remastered. The only thing that I'm a little bit hesitant on is that has the Shockland, so maybe its long-term value will be better. But there's still a lot of the set to see. So kind of my recap reintroduction here talking about this. I'll continue making videos throughout the week as we look at more spoilers. But really, as always, I'd like to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you excited about this latest round of reveals? There's going to be people that are upset about reprints, obviously, and stuff being left off. But there's still a lot of set reveals to come. And it pretty quickly pivots into Aether Drift as well. So plenty to talk about in the coming weeks. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you in the next video.